Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on a very special Monday Bears training camp off the. That's right. QB2, TYSON Bagent, my guy, who I was screaming was QB1 last year, is in studio. This is a huge day for the show.
QB2 on the depth chart, but QB1 in your heart.
This is true. No, this is true. I should tell you when I first fell in love with you. I don't want to make it weird at the start here.
Let's get it all out of the way.
I think it was the Raider game, and you found Tyler Scott on a third down, going through your progressions, beautiful throw, first down, and I think about 2 plays after that you had the run. And then you did this to the crowd, and I was like, "This is my guy." You showed a little flair for the undrafted rookie doing that. I seriously thought that was I thought it was awesome.
I mean, I appreciate that a lot. That's kind of how I run, just being motivating, and anytime you get the crowd involved, it's never a bad gig. So I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's be real here, Mark, because the first time you actually fell in love with them was last year at OTAs, and Carm thinks he's like the QB whisperer here in Chicago. Like we've obviously had a tough time as fans identifying who actually is a good quarterback in this city. We get a little ahead of our skis, but he identified Josh McCown once upon a time. I don't know how much you followed his career path and his arc here in Chicago. Kind of comes out of nowhere, and like his first time in this 2013, he's like one of the best quarterbacks on a 5-game stretch that we've ever seen here in this city. And so now you come along and you're like, this dude's got some moxie. He was telling me last summer at minicamp and OTAs. So, like, I don't know how much you're aware of this guy as your biggest advocate. We made a parody song. He made a parody song of you. So he's been in your corner. He says the Raider game, but I just want you to know that this dude, he's a day one guy.
Last OTAs, that's true day one.
Yeah, well, we were watching practice, and I was like, and no disrespect to PJ, but I'm like, I think 17 looks better than so, and then it ended, and then they actually went ahead and basically gave you the runway, and then when you got an opportunity, you stepped into it, and so all of that I did feel like I was, showing everybody that I was the QB whisperer, and I could see what was going on. But I mean, look, for people who haven't, don't have the bio memorized. Most completions of anybody in the history of D2, most passing yards in the history of anyone in D2, most touchdown passes, most total yards, most games 200-plus total yards, most games with 3 touchdown passes. I mean, the resume was unbelievable, and I'm like, and I'm a former D2 play-by-play guy, St. Edward's University, 2005 to 2007. Go Hilltoppers.
Shout out.
Austin, Texas. I'm like, and so I know the talent on that level. It's not, I'm not saying it's D1, but there are a lot of like really good players down there, and when they get a chance, you never know what they can do, and here you were. So I'm like, I'm going to buy in. That was basically my theory.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing. I think that at the D2 level especially, it's weird because skill position wise, it's not really night and day difference, but it's just in the trenches is where you see the biggest difference. So that was the kind of thing that I realized, once I got to this level, is just that the big boys are a little bit different than I'm used to.
Get in there, Nick. I know.
Yeah, no. I mean, coming from D2 and then obviously going to that first training camp last year, where was your mindset at in terms of just getting into an NFL training camp and then wanting to, prove yourself, even though you've done it all at the collegiate level, but then this is a step up. So what do you remember about kind of just entering like your mindset at that time?
Yeah, I just remember kind of just tripping about it all and just really having to really single it down to taking it day by day. Because I knew that it was like a damn near impossible task for an undrafted cat to come in, take a couple of guys' jobs, be a backup immediately. So I really just had to hone in on, know what my responsibilities were each day, and really just trying to outwork and do them to the best of my ability was all I could really focus on, or else I would just start, freaking out. Because, in my, it's a tall task, but, in my own head, I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be a quarterback. So I gotta get a bunch of people on the same page as me. So just every day, just trying to chop the wood and do my responsibility at the highest level, and I think it certainly paid off.
CHGO Bears training camp, in the middle of the whole thing here. Coverage is presented by Ray Chevrolet. Shop the Freedom to Save sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. Shout out to my guy, Ray Scarpelli. Had a great ride in the Chevy Trax today. For the record, it was beautiful. All right. Let's get a little up-to-date training camp-wise. How's it gone for you? What's it feel like for you, knowing coming in that you're on the team? It's got to be a total different vibe for you. And my QBIs here, you look like you're having a great time out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. We kind of hinted on this before the show started, but I just feel, so much more comfortable than I did last year. And I think that's just, a credit to the staff we have. They're doing a great job of teaching everything. And just to the repetitions I was able to have last year. So now I feel like I'm able to take like more a deeper dive into just football and all the intricacies and coverages and plays we're running and why we're running them. And I just feel way more comfortable than I did last year. And that also could be a credit to I just know everybody around me a little bit better. I'm a little bit less hesitant to speak my mind when things are going right or wrong. So all that's played a part, and I feel great. The team looks great, and I'm excited to see what happens this year.
How do you what's your idea of how best to support Caleb and getting him acclimated?
Yeah, I think just with the little experience, last year's experience that I do have, I think I can, kind of offer any insight, and, I'm always learning and getting better. So, I could always help out by whatever I learn, being able to pass it forward to him, just because I can only imagine, you can only imagine the hill that he'll have to climb this year as a starting quarterback in the league. But from a physical standpoint, he's got everything that you would ask for. It's just being able to, know what's going on and how to just execute at a high level, which I think if given all the resources, he'll certainly be able to do.
You made a lot of news with the
hard knock seizure.
Bryce, can you do that better than I just did it?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean the hard knock seizure. It was good. It was we're looking forward to Hard Knocks, like getting those peeks behind the curtain. We're all having our guesses as to some of the stuff and the people they're going to highlight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to learn about some of your guys' stories on a deeper level. I mean, that was always my thing about going to training camp was you got the top guys on the roster, but the dudes that are fighting to stay on the roster, those guys are competing the hardest at a lot of times at camp. And so it's fun to watch that always take place. You talked about working with Caleb in the offseason. You guys, were working out together in LA. What were those workouts like? Like what were some of the stuff you guys were going through, to A, get on the same page, offensively with the playbook, but B, just, getting to know each other as teammates?
Yeah, I think, obviously we're on the field. It's business as usual. So it was us, the receivers, running backs, and, throwing routes, talking about, concepts and, what to look for and why we would change things or why the route would get altered in any way, being able to talk through it and get repetitions with guys that you're actually going to be throwing to in the season. I think just being on the same page, you can't ever be on the same page enough when it comes to things like that. So I thought that was great. And then, Caleb took us all out to dinner one night. So it's just little things like that, being able to hang out, kind of get to know who the people are outside of football, I think can also just, help create that camaraderie and just everybody have a better understanding of who each other is and how they can kind of serve the other person. When you're in a 11-person sport, all those pieces flowing, I think is huge. So little things like that just allows it to happen a little easier. And I think the thing I always hint to is once the defense last year, once I started to realize that they really enjoyed and liked each other and they were, always hanging out and always doing things and meshing together, that's when they really started to take off kind of in the middle and into the end of the season. So just the quicker that you can just mesh and bond, I think it just creates for, it making it harder to beat you.
100%.
What kind of dinner are we talking?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Is this Italian steakhouse? What are we doing here? Mexican.
I don't remember. It was what did I even have?
LA?
Yeah, it was like a steakhouse. It was a steakhouse deal, and it was in I think it was in Hollywood. So, what a guy. What a guy.
So Tyson, you were just talking about like just getting to know your teammates off the field. Would you say that you guys have done more of that this season than what you did even last year, just to kind of get that understanding of what you guys are like, and just to kind of get the understanding of each other?
Yeah, I mean, well, as we hinted to with the whole seizure thing, I was a bum last year, so I didn't get invited to these things. So I have no clue. But yes, this year much more so. Everybody's more together this year, in my opinion. But that's just based off my individual experience of it all, and I just think it's it's always a good thing when dudes are hanging out when they don't have to. Is always what I think is just great about building a team and building that camaraderie, like I said.
For sure. And you mentioned the Bears defense. What's it like going against that group every single day in training camp? Like, obviously we hear the talking on the sidelines, but what kind of challenges do they present to you as a quarterback? Just what's it like facing that group?
Yeah, it's just tighter windows, dudes flying around, and a lot of times if I'm not in and I'm looking out there, you kind of especially you get to the 7-on-7 aspect of things, and you're just looking around, and you've got potential all pros all around. Yeah. I mean, you've got Kyler at nickel, you've got Kevin Byard and Brisker at safety, you've got Stevenson and Johnson at corner, you got the linebacker crew who's unreal. Yeah. All the way from Tremaine all the way to Sanborn. So it's very impressive, and they certainly make it a chaotic, tall task in practice, which is good for the offense.
So before we go any further, I just want to mention Tyson's here because he loves us, but also we got a dinner coming up on August 17th, which is for two great causes, AHS and CORE. We've got a special video because as a dog guy, and we've had Poppy the Puppy on the show. I should have brought Poppy the Puppy in today, which I apologize, Poppy the Puppy, but we're thinking of you. So this is a professionally done Tyson Bagent promo for what's coming up here. Let's see what we got.
What's going on, everybody? Tyson Bagent here, quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Settle down. Here we go. Super proud to be a part of the animal health shelter team. Was fortunate enough to get a tour of the facility yesterday. Everything looks amazing. Really looking forward to everything that the animal health shelter can do in the future. Over. Yeah, basically my spare time, professional dog whisperer.
Working on it.
That's a good effort right there. That's solid. Rolling over is a big thing. So, all right. So animals mean a ton to you, right? I'm getting this right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. I was 16. My parents finally got me my first dog. My sweet boy Kane Isaac passed away a couple years ago, but that was my guy. And last year was pretty chaotic for me just because get here, make the team, and then it's full steam into the season. So I wasn't able to do a whole lot in the community. So this is a good cause that I'm looking forward to get involved with, and I think they do a good job, and that's kind of what the whole dinner is about on the 17th.
It's a no-kill shelter that rescues and cares for homeless pets. So you got a private cocktail reception. It's on the 16th floor. Carm, put your glasses on. Coming up on the 17th. After you guys whip the Bengals and you throw a couple touchdown passes, there will be you got a live DJ, you got a silent auction, you got dinner, drinks, you get to meet Tyson. We'll tweet out the link to it, but look at you giving back to the community.
Hey. This is good stuff. I mean, there's a guy in our chat that says, I have 6 rescues. This dude just won me over even more. That is a good cause. Awesome. Like my dog, I lost my puppy a couple years ago, Bailey. I had him for 12 years, and he was from Costa Rica. My sister went to grad school in Costa Rica, so he literally lived on the streets. And so when he came here, he was skin and bones. First time I tried to feed him steak, he spit it out.
Wow.
And then a few years later, he's demanding a pillow and blanket to sleep in. So I know how that is, man, once they win your heart over. So now I'm trying to convince my wife to rescue another one. So definitely have to look into what you guys are doing over there.
She's already got to take care of you, though.
Yeah, exactly. We've got enough kids in the house.
Got a zillion things to cover with Tyson. Appreciate everybody being here. Hippie Nerd, you're the man for that. I knew you had 6 rescues, Hippie Nerd. That's what you do. Hey, shout out to our friends at Circus Sportsbook. The tight money line splits the low hold model. They try to put that money in your pocket with the -110 split. You make the most money and have the most fun gambling with Circa. These are the real people. These are the people behind the brand who resolve issues for you in the timely fashion. You will love gambling with Circa. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app at circusports.com/Illinois-app. Sign yourself up today. We've got our Circa events all the time. The Cubbies are hot, 3 out of 4. Cubby Fridays at 1:20. We got our watch parties. We got our tailgates. If you or someone you know does have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com, 1-800-426-2537.
Everyone go check out Circa, and you got to check out Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to the other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. One of the things I love about Indeed is that the matching engine that they have is constantly learning from your preferences, so it helps you to find the right match for you. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visible at Indeed.com/AllCity.com. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. No need to hire. You need Indeed.
Indeed. I see you, Charlie the Bacon Guy. My wife and I are currently fostering kittens 68, 69, and 70.
Wow.
Way to go, Charlie the Bacon Guy.
A lot of cats to have in one house, Charlie.
Kind of
70 cats.
It's kind of weird.
When the bacon comes here, I do see there's a lot of like little hairs in there. I guess kitty cats.
We're talking 70 at the same time, or
I'm assuming there's not 70 cats in Charlie the Bacon Guy's house, but if there is,
hopefully it's a big house.
That's
He always delivers great bacon.
Hopefully it's a big house with cat quarters.
That's our softball sponsor. Big game tonight, Charlie. We got you. Don't you worry. Team got back on track last week, mainly because I played. But we'll talk about that another time. I know there's a couple of super chats here, Lawrence. People weighing in. Our guy Jason McKenna, $10. Bagent. I know Carm is a huge supporter of you, but I just wanted to tell you that you also have plenty of Bears fans that are huge Bagent fans as well. Keep rocking out, and you'll get your bag.
My man, appreciate you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. And Ethan Rucker, $4.99. Appreciate you. Mr. Bagent, I will be at the game Saturday. Can't wait to see you play. Also, are any of the CHGO crew going to be there? Well, Nicholas is covering the game.
I'll be there.
I was kind of bummed you only got one series in the Hall of Fame game. Were you?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get out there and get any reps, it's obviously an amazing blessing. Was a little bit of a tease, but I knew I was playing the first quarter going in, and it's just how the game spun. They put together 2 lengthy drives in the first quarter, and so it was just kind of how it unfolded. But yeah, definitely looking forward to getting back out there.
I wanted the whole team to play, so I wanted Caleb and the starters to play a half, and then you guys to play the whole second half. Yeah. So I'm getting greedy over here. Although, can you speak to the field conditions? It did look pretty slippery even before the weather, because then once I started to see guys slipping, obviously we want to get to the season healthy, so that kind of like toned me down. I'm like, okay, maybe we need to take it easy on a day like this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't notice it a whole lot, but I did. There were complaints from guys on the team that the field was a little slippery. They couldn't get their feet under them. So, yeah, it all plays a part. You definitely want to go into the season having all your guys at 100%.
What was the Hall of Fame experience like for you? I mean, for me personally, Devin Hester is my favorite Chicago Bear of all time. I may or may not have cried during his speech. He means a lot to a lot of Bears fans. I mean, even Odunze is his favorite player of all time, and he's not even from around here. So Devin resonates a lot with our generation. I'm sure you as well. Like, what was it like to? I know you guys met those guys, right? So and the Hall of Famers. What was that whole experience like to see not only be at the Hall of Fame game and be in Canton, Ohio, but 3 former Bears getting inducted in as well?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. I mean, kind of like you said, it's not just Bears guys; it's household names, like from across the country that everybody is well aware of. So being able to see those guys, and get inducted and get announced. And being able to see him so close, it just kind of puts it in perspective that, kind of anybody's capable of doing something like that. So I think it was a motivating factor for a lot of guys. I know it certainly was me. yeah, it was just cool to be that close to them, cool to see them get their recognition.
Sure.
And, all of it was very deserving.
Was there any player that stood out that you got to meet or talk to that resonated with you the most?
Yeah, I mean, Julius Peppers real close to me at one point, and just kind of, looking at him, how diesel he still looks. And
Seriously,
yeah, just, happy I didn't play in his time. So, but yeah, just being so close to those guys and just, they're going to football heaven. So, it's just real cool to be close to those guys and just understand what all they accomplished, and, hoping that, one of us can one day, be in those same shoes.
For sure.
Tyson, what was it like did you guys get to see all the busts and everything inside of in Canton?
Say it again.
Like all the busts, all the faces of all the
yeah.
What was that like? Just being with the team and just kind of seeing.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think Canton is something that everybody should do at least once. So being able to see just all the history, the people's faces, what they were able to accomplish, why they're there, it was pretty impressive. And then, just really also how quick they get to work on those things. Just the morning after, a couple of my buddies that came to watch the game went and toured the Hall of Fame, and Cairo's kickoff was the first kickoff ever under the new rules. So that football was already there with this picture and the date. And
you want to get a shot to return? Because, we can call you dual threat, right? 70 yards on the ground against the Saints. Why not? Come on.
Yeah, I yes. If you're asking me if I'm a beast, yes, I am a beast.
We know that.
Whatever the team needs.
So when would you say that you just decided? I want to play the rewind game a little bit here.
Yeah.
You started playing tackle football. You were 6 years old. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, and then when do you think the mindset came? I don't know if it's by your dad, Travis, like instilling in you or just seeing and betting on you that, like, okay, I am putting my best foot forward, that I'm going to take this as far as I possibly can. Like, do you remember ever like having a conversation with your dad, anything like that?
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily a conversation with my dad. It was always, as any parent should, I think you kind of, force your kid to do a bunch of stuff. So up until middle school, I was just getting thrown into, as many sports as I possibly could: baseball, basketball, football, gymnastics, soccer, pretty much, CrossFit, anything that you could do. And really football and basketball were the things that I really kind of fell in love with. So continued to do those. Middle school, kind of went through a basketball, wanted to be a hooper phase, just because all my best friends were basketball players, and just my best friend's dad was our travel basketball coach. So it was kind of a year-round gig. And then I got to high school, and my sophomore year I won the starting quarterback job for the varsity team, and I think it was right around there. Just being in such a huge position as a quarterback, playing with older guys, was just such a cool thing for me, and started to garner some attention and realized I could get college paid for, because I don't think my family was in any position to pay for college, so that was a motivating factor. And then just kind of that sophomore year of high school, I just remember just being like, you know what, see how far I can take this football gig, and that was kind of when that all happened for me.
Is it a true story that you were an A+ student in high school? Is that right? I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I think, I always had a 3.6 or higher.
How'd you do, Greg?
Not great.
Yeah, it was a grind. I hated it, but it was kind of like my dad smacked the shit out of me if I came home with a C. So
yeah,
you learned
that.
Yeah.
I didn't learn discipline until I was like 32 years old. A kid. That's when I finally was like, all right, I'll grow up.
I think it clicked for me pretty soon that it'd be embarrassing to not come home with good grades. Mm-hmm. I didn't want anybody thinking that I was a dumb person or anything. I didn't go crazy on the SAT or the ACT, but as far as like busy work and getting things turned in and being ready for a test, I felt like I was pretty good at that.
So you had good habits early. Like I'm literally still I'm a little older than you. I'm on the back 9 here officially, Tyson. Yeah. And so I'm still
He's
working.
only got a few years left with us.
I'm still. It's a. Let me just tell you, to all the people out there, when you officially like realize that you're on the back 9 and there's no doubt that you're on the back 9, like it's a rough moment. But my point is that I'm still working on building like the proper habits. I like to learn from guys like you, athletes that somehow got that early, like just working out, doing things that are not fun, studying. So I'm hearing like some serious parent accountability was maybe behind it. Am I hearing that right?
I had the best parents you could really imagine. So Yeah, crazy dad, awesome mom, and it just worked out. It worked out great. Yeah, it worked out great, and to even get on a weird deeper level.
Yeah, let's go.
Because at first, it's your parents forcing you to do things, and I was hanging around a lot of good people, so you get some good habits through that. Everybody's got bad habits. I got bad habits, but then I think as I've gotten older, and the latter years of college, realizing that you are going to die one day, and how pitiful would have been to have lived your life and pass away without having honed in on all the things that you should hone in on. So from there, it just turns into something that's I don't really have a choice. It's got to happen. I don't want to die a slappy. I want to be able to live my life saying I did all the things that I knew I was supposed to do. Because once you know better, you certainly should do better. So
you get fist pound on that. Hell yes, let's go.
Yeah,
I mean, you're in the NFL, man. I mean, it's like the most exclusive country club on the planet to be a professional athlete. I'm serious. I mean, come on. Yeah, true story. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned CrossFit too. Like those workouts, they suck. Like they put you through pain and excruciating. I mean, it's a lot. So why do you find enjoyment in on your birthdays? You're going out and doing these crazy workouts. Like how does that connect with? Like, why is that a thing you do?
Yeah, I mean, once again, it was forced onto me as a young kid. Yeah, exactly. It was forced onto me at first, and I think through that. Because I mean, the biggest thing with CrossFit and people that are trying to get in it, once they're fully developed, is that the feeling that feeling in your gut, the burning and the maybe your throat's on fire and your legs are hurting. A lot of people don't really know. They're not really too familiar with that. So once that hits, it's kind of like, oh my, I need to stop immediately. But thank God I was forced into it when I was a kid, and I was able to realize early that. Your mind will tell you to stop far before your body really will stop. So being able to endure that, and then it's kind of a mental thing for me with, the more horrible drudgery things I can do, the easier that everything else will be in my life. So something like a burpee broad jump mile, for the rest of that week that there'll be nothing really that will be as hard as that. So it just puts you in that mental state, and it puts me in a great mood to where I'm able to be better at, every other thing in my life that I think is far more important, like, being a son, a brother, a friend, a family member, all that.
Yeah, my bad. Hit the like button for Tyson on everything he's saying right now. Appreciate him coming down on an off day, living up in the burbs, driving into the city, making the commitment, giving back with the event coming up after the Bengals game on the 17th. All of it's super cool. I want to shout out your Sunday night dinners with the grandparents. I know, and then is that? Yeah, I'm picturing this whole thing. I asked you the other day, because you were like, I lived at home this summer. Like, don't you want to move out? You're a professional athlete, but you got serious family appreciation. And I was seeing with your grandfather, that you guys would have these Sunday dinners, and then you didn't end up going D1 because you wanted your grandfather to see you graduate. All true stories.
My granddad was a absolute pimp in all the best ways possible. Yeah, just an awesome dude. Yes. He funded. He was a lawyer. He was the president of the RV industry for a little bit. So, and came from nothing really. So he really just created this whole empire and was able to fund Sunday dinners every Sunday, every other Sunday from really the time I was born and up until around 16 years old. So, and he had 5 kids, and all those kids had kids. So it wasn't like Sunday dinner was for 5 people. It was for about 20 people. Wow. But yeah, just having that whole family nature instilled into me. My parents completely had way too many kids after me, which now I feel like I'm just, have to be there to watch them grow up and stuff. So, but it's been great. There's nowhere else I'd rather be in the whole world than with them. But yeah, it's definitely something that my granddad, I think, kind of helped put into all of us, is just how important family is, and how great that a family dynamic can be.
Shout out your brothers and sisters. What do we got here? Let's put a name on them.
So we got me, then we've got Ezra Bagent, quarterback, redshirt freshman quarterback at Shepherd University.
Yep.
Let's go. Then we've got DM Elizabeth Bagent, just started driving, so that's crazy.
Big, yeah. Be careful out there.
Yep. Amazing 5'11" volleyball player.
Wow.
So yeah, no joke. And then the young princess Laura Bagent, 10 years old, born one day before my birthday. So last 10 years been sharing a birthday with her. So yeah, and she's coming into her own as a softball player. My dad was a baseball player at Shepherd, so he's kind of went in full steam ahead on yelling and screaming at her every day. And from year 1 to year 2, this is year 2 for her, and as you know, you're already seeing the jump, you're seeing the ball kind of fly off the bat, which last year, I mean, a hit was a miracle. So.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, that's my squad right there.
It's smart to live at home. I mean, while you're making bank. I mean, a couple years ago we sold our house.
I don't want to. I mean, I bought the house. I don't want. I'm not just. Yeah.
I was gonna say that when we sold our house, we lived with my mom's for a little bit. Man, we were bankrolling. I was like, I want to stay here forever. So yeah, that's smart. The only question, I know we got to take a break here in a second, but. You know, you mentioned your whole family. We hear so much about your dad.
I bought the house. That's amazing.
I'm a big mama's boy. You know, I grew up with just my mom and a bunch of other women are surrounded by me. So I was lucky enough and still lucky to be surrounded by strong women. We don't hear as much about your mom. Obviously, your dad being, you know, world champion arm wrestler and this ball of energy. I mean, me and him have very similar crazy personalities. But I definitely am curious to hear about your mom and the influence that she had on you.
Yeah, my mom is just she's a lot opposite than my dad in a lot of ways, but
that's good balance, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think I got a good mixture of both of them. But I mean, yeah, my mom was just a animal, like just a beast ever since I was little. Just training, working out, just having that whole healthy background in her life. I mean, my youngest sister, she. Her water broke while she was doing a CrossFit workout at the gym that my dad owned at the time. So. Little things like that, I think, and just how nurturing and loving she is. Like, she's always sending me inspirational things, telling me she loves me. So, definitely got a great balance of, my dad's intensity and then my mom's just overwhelming, loving nature. So,
it's awesome.
Yeah, she's 5'11", so that certainly helped out a lot. So, my dad always said he lined up all the tallest, all the hottest girls in the school. In high school, and just chose the tallest one.
So that's smart. Carman was sizing up wingspan for the girls he was dating.
It's somehow that came out of one show where I was on some date, and like she just put her arms out, and they were. Yeah. I mean, it was like, Scottie Pippen type of situation. I was I was so turned on. It was unbelievable. I was like, that's amazing. Congratulations. All right. Hey, on that note, it's getting easier for businesses, Greg, to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it.
Yeah, we absolutely can. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should business owners do?
They should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
You bet your sweet bippy I did. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Everyone go check out ComEd. I need everyone to also check out Game Time. It's an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Price on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets the first pitch, so it's always a perk there with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets, or if you're looking for concert tickets, you want to check out Game Time. And actually, when I went to a White Sox game earlier this year, the one game I went to, I used Game Time to secure my tickets at a great price.
Good work.
And, I love the last-minute tickets, the flash deals, zone deals. Easy to find and buy MLB tickets for every kind of event in your area, and views from all seats in the venue. Lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, all of that. Take the guesswork, again, out of buying MLB tickets, concert tickets, whatever you want with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
All right, let's get a little current here. And so I went back, was watching some of your games from last year. And, first game, you're hitting DJ a bunch. And I'm trying to think, like, and then the Bears, of course, just extending DJ. How does that guy make your life easier?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's easy. He's the best receiver in the world. So I mean, I've never seen anybody like it. Awesome, funny dude, full of energy, full of life. Great, good little family. He's got 2 little kids, and whenever you see them around, they obviously love the shit out of him. So seeing him get extended, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Dude's an amazing wide receiver and turns into a running back when he gets the ball. So what more could you ask?
I'm watching. And correct me if I'm wrong here, by the way, it's just my own eyes, and Nick, feel free to push back too. But like, it seems to me that Keenan is just always open. Like somehow there's whatever he's doing out there, however he sets guys up, it just seems like he's very quarterback friendly. Am I in the right direction here?
100%. Yeah, you are 100%. I mean, dude executes routes like it's an artistic painting thing. Like he's just the most creative, understanding route runner that I may have ever seen. So, and he's probably, in the short span that I've known him, one of the funnier dudes that I've ever met in my life. So makes you like him even more.
That's interesting because like I'm trying to understand the DJ part if we just go back one, because like he seems super relaxed, but then there's this like underlying fun DJ thing that's going on. He kind of, and when we get to talk to him, he kind of just looks at us with this like, just sort of like trying to size up what you're asking and who you are.
I remember when I first got here last year, and making the team. We're going through the first little part of the season, and up until about halfway through the season, I was like, man, I don't know if DJ likes me, or I don't know what maybe he's just a weirdo. I don't really know what the deal is with him. But once you get to know him, start having conversations with him, start laughing with him a little bit. Yeah, he's a odd cat, but super awesome and hilarious. So yeah, he's great.
We were at the Super Bowl last year, and we were stalking him, and he walked with us, and we did an interview for like 3 minutes, and it was great. And then we were hanging around with him later in the week, and kind of still like we were trying to get Cam Newton.
Yep.
And he's like, and we were kind of trying to figure out if we should ask him or how we're going to do this. And DJ like just looks, he's like, you guys want Cam? You want me to? He's like, I can ask for you. It was like, and I was like, it was such a nice thing to do, like he didn't have to do it, but obviously knew him from his time with Carolina. What's Rome like?
Man, yeah, I was just talking about Rome last night. To a couple, we were hanging out last night with a couple dudes, and I was just thinking, like, if I was in charge of bringing players into the facility, and I was looking at receivers, and I interviewed guys, just watching his tape and seeing how athletic he is, and seeing him win all the one-on-one, 50-50 balls, and then hearing him speak, and just him always being where he's supposed to be, running the right routes, running the right version of the route. It's just a no-brainer. It's obvious that he was supposed to be this early of a pick, and that he's a guy that you won't have to worry about being in the right place at the right time, and he's been great so far. I mean, especially from a missed assignment perspective, I mean, he's killing it.
Yep. When we were at the combine, I mean, he was like the winner of the combine. Like he was funny and articulate and thoughtful. And
yeah, like we were at dinner last a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting beside him, and they're playing this card game, Ride the Bus. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if y'all know that game. You set up 9 cards, 3, 3, 3, and then you just you go over under on the card, like if it's going to be over or under, and if you get it wrong, you shut it down and you try to go through the whole deck. And just watching it was like him and Cole kind of came up with this whole, just equation on just this
strategy.
Yeah, this whole strategy where I was just like,
were they cheating? They were cheating.
Not even cheating, but just like he's like he's running the numbers in his head. He's like, all right, if we got to do it this way, and then so this means that we need to just going off of like it was at he was at the casino and he was counting cars, and it's just like anybody that can do that. I'm like, okay, yeah, obviously if you're putting together this whole math equation right now, obviously you'll know when to keep the shallow cross on the run or when to shut it off. So it just gives me all the confidence in the world hearing him just be so intricate with little details like that, and just having a good time, and you can tell that he takes pride in being a high IQ cat, which is all you could ask at the
Rome the
position.
Rain Man.
Was this just a random dinner to get guys together?
Yeah, it's just like offense, like not even just offensive or defensive guys there, but just the team the night before an off day, just going out to the local spot.
Sounds like you guys are bonding.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely one of those nights where you're building building team camaraderie. Yeah, it's great.
Which is, I feel like it's a little underrated in the NFL or professional sports period nowadays.
Yeah.
Like dudes have their lives and their money.
Yeah,
and
it's way different than college from the aspect of, when you get free time, especially, you're an older dude and you got family and stuff. The last thing you want to do is, hang out. You really want to try to spend as much time with your kids and your family. So I think that, it's a long season. So the more fun you can be having with the guys around you, just the better it'll be.
So when it comes to this offense with Shane Waldron, you're talking about, guys and the precise routes and, just having all these playmakers there. What do you like about what Waldron has kind of been implementing, but also highlighting guys like Keenan, DJ for you guys as a quarterback? What have you liked so far about it?
Man, I mean, it's, talking about just Waldron individually, like he's just been such a great teacher to the just in the aspect of when I go home after the day is over, I'm not having to relearn anything. It's just kind of going over what was talked about, which is a lot different than last year. I feel like the second half of my day kind of started once I left the facility and I went into the hotel room and I locked myself in there and I made sure I knew everything. And with this point, I think it's probably a little bit of me being in my second year and how good of a teacher Waldron is. Just feel real comfortable with everything we're being run, and he's got such a deep understanding for the player's perspective on things, like understanding, we're not just, these aren't just paper routes and paper concepts. He understands when leverages are different and how routes need to be run and what each guy's comfortable doing, and especially taking advantage of matchups. I can't imagine we'll see a whole lot of man-to-man this year. It'd probably be just a lot of weird zone coverages trying to confuse people, and we'll just have to adjust to that. And, I don't think there's any better team or coach for the task. So it's been just wonderful so far.
Yeah, good luck running man-to-man with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Sometimes, 7-on-7, you're in the huddle, and, you've got DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. And then it's like, somebody's tired, and then you got Tyler Scott coming in running a 4.
Gerald Everett's
running a 3.9. Gerald Everett, you got Mercedes Lewis coming back, just jacking people up in the run game. It's unbelievable squad that we have right now.
You talk about understanding. You just mentioned understanding what guys do well in their routes, and then you were talking about in the summer how you guys were trying to go over concepts and stuff. It seems like you're somebody that's really going to hit the playbook hard and understand what the right read is, when to throw it. So I'm curious from your standpoint, the adjustment of knowing what the right throw is with the coverage you're looking at, but also taking into consideration who's best at what route, if that doesn't line up, even though that is the right read, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think within most of our, past concepts, you've got an alert for man. So you've got somebody that's on a man-to-man beater, right? So you're hunting that first and foremost, and then once you don't get that, you kind of just going through your progression. And obviously football, it's 11-on-11, and a lot of things go wrong a lot of times. So that's just kind of where you see guys like Caleb Williams being the number 1 pick in the draft because of how good they are off schedule. Obviously you like to be in schedule, you like to get the ball out on time, and you like to do that as much as you can. But I think we have the guys in the quarterback room and in the wide receiver room that will be wonderful once things go off schedule. And that kind of just plays into the part of, hey, do I have man-to-man? All right, I'm going to take this shot. And then if not, I'm going through my progressions. And then if the play extends, I know I got the guys around me that know the rules and the ways in which to get open and create space.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Caleb on the move, man, when he's ripping it, that to me is his number 1 tool. He's got an arsenal.
Yeah.
But, man, when he's on the move, he can sling it. Throwing with anticipation. How much is that an adjustment, going from D2, getting into the NFL, starting 4 games last year, you're watching a route develop, how difficult is it to learn NFL windows? Because last Saturday at practice, I really enjoyed it. You guys were doing red zone 1-on-1s and 7-on-7s, and I really enjoyed watching you guys practicing those, throws to the front pylon where you got to anticipate, throwing into windows. So what has that adjustment been like for you to trust it and throw it when you can't see it until it's there?
Yeah, I think that's the $1 million question that everybody is wondering when you're talking about who you're going to draft and who's going to be good at this or that. You don't really know until you get there, and that was kind of something that I've been playing quarterback since I was 6 and been throwing a lot of passes, been put in a lot of situations. So it was just kind of one of those things where you really have no choice but to trust it and rip it. You understand that everybody's paid to do their job. So when you think about it in that sense, you have no problem, throwing the ball before the receiver makes his break. And really, because of how tight the windows are, you have no choice. So, you got to, let it loose, trust the guys that are there, and trust that the higher ups have brought in dudes that can make those plays for you. So
when you're watching tape from what you did last year, are there times where you're like, man, like I should rip it 2 steps before that? Is there times where you're looking at it and saying, like, I saw it, but I didn't let it go? And like, how do you unlock that from your mind, that paranoia that you're going to make a mistake?
I think with all of that, the more that you can just have an unbelievable understanding for what you guys are doing and for what the defense is doing, and you take out the equation of any hesitation, I think will put you in a way better situation than me going out on the field and practicing that throw 1 million times. If I can really understand what's going on and I really have my pre-snap, post-snap process, then, just being on time and being in rhythm is the number one thing, other than just practicing, the throws that you're going to make 1 million times. Like, just having a deep understanding for what's going on, knowing what a guy's going to do, what adjustments he's going to make, will head and shoulders, take you to that next level, in my opinion.
Trust and confidence, right?
Yeah.
Simba makes a ton of plays. So I don't mean to call him out for this, but you made a sick throw to him yesterday, and he dropped it. But that dude's he's 99% of the time he's throwing it. That was a great throw with anticipation. I want to shout out our guy Cole Komet, who's great friend of the program here, and just that also reeks like a guy that just is always doing things the right way. Like, what's your favorite thing about 85?
I mean, he's one of the most well-rounded individuals I've ever been around. I mean, just from just understanding the game, from just how he spends his time away from football, how he takes care of his body, how funny he is, how he takes pride in being healthy. And he's 270 with 7% body fat. You know what I mean? Just an absolute freak of nature. And then on top of that, he's an amazing person and he's hilarious. So, I mean,
he looks like Clark Kent.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite players in NFL. So he's perfect. One of those things, I'm glad he's on my team, and he's super friendly. I mean, a lot of us were at his house last night. So he's a great dude and a lot of fun, and just I'm happy he's on our team.
So Cole's out there hosting dudes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just great guy. Guy.
We didn't get the invite.
It's
all good, Cole. Whatever, Cole.
That's a team thing. Don't take it personally, Greg. I wasn't.
Well, we could at least go golfing or something.
No, I know I was invited. I just decided that I wanted to leave it for everybody out there. All right. So something I heard. I'm not. Shout out Luke Etsy, who greatly appreciate. I thought Luke kind of got a rough ride here. I thought he, by a lot of fans, I always appreciate him. But I have heard that the terminology sort of is just shorter this year. It's a little boiled down. Is that an accurate thing? I don't want you to say anything out of turn here, but does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean it's not ridiculously less, but yeah, it's just instead of tagging things onto a play we already have, it's just you just have a whole new word. So it's really just the pressure point is just being able to wrap your mind around what this word means, and you can kind of paint the whole picture instead of saying something and then tagging the different intricacies that you want within the play. So that's been the biggest difference.
So maybe like a drop easier to learn.
100%.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tyson, what's it been like working with Kerry Joseph? Obviously being his first year here, but what has it been like working with him in just the quarterback room?
Yeah, I think he's great. He's a great person. Shows up, got a lot of energy day in and day out. Really hones in on our fundamentals and what we need to look like and be like on each play. And definitely, re-emphasizes to us just the excellence that, we're slated to have to play with, in practice, in games, and just all in preparation for when the bullets are flying in real time. So I've had a great time with Kerry so far.
You talked about Shane Waldron being a great teacher. But I'm assuming last year, I know Ryan Poles is the one that drafted you, but Luke Getsy, seeing you at the Senior Bowl, I think had a big impact on you bringing you here to Chicago as an undrafted free agent, I should say. So when they hired Shane Waldron, like what was that transition like, going from a guy that really advocated for you from the Senior Bowl on, and then trying to win over Shane, like, hey, this is why I'm here, and convincing him for the same reasons Luke saw in you?
Yeah, I don't really try to prove. I mean, that's not completely true. I'm not really trying to prove that I should be here, other than I just want everybody to see how much I care about it and how hard I'm willing to work and how much pride I'll take into learning everything that's going on, and just really the pride in my work ethic. I always carry out my fake how you want me to. I always be 1 to 2 to 3 going through my process. Whatever you teach me, I'll make sure I implement that, and that's all that I'm kind of was looking forward to, and that, which is why I think it's been a great mesh so far, because he's teaching at a high level, and I'm out there for the life of me trying to execute at a high level. So I think it's just been a good situation so far.
So it's one thing I noticed, because say you're doing whatever, a pitch one way and then you're coming the other way. You go past the line of scrimmage, you'll go another, call it 5-10 yards, a little bit further than like the standard QB's going. So that's on purpose?
Yeah, it's just something I take pride in. Just kind of it was kind of spoken to me that way, that I should do that in college by my first offensive coordinator. Shout out to Coach Tyrell Hyatt.
What's up, Hyatt? What's up,
yeah,
Coach?
That's my guy. But but then even then, football is such a hard thing. So whenever you can get the play, and when it's a run play, I'm not necessarily tripping too hard off that. I kind of know what I'm supposed to do, so it just feels good to be able to execute that whole play to the best of my ability. And part of that to me is just carrying the shit out of my fake.
Is that can we call that like a little bit of a Kobe-esque thing? Because like there's stories where like Jason Williams, who went to Duke, played for the Bulls before he got injured. He comes to a game and he gets there to work out at like super early, 3 o'clock before a 7 o'clock game. Kobe's already out there shooting. So J. Will goes out there and he's going as hard as he possibly can for this a long workout. And Kobe doesn't stop beforehand. J. Will's like, finally, well, I'm done. And Kobe just keeps going. And so then he goes up to him afterwards. He's like, Kobe, I got to ask you, like, how do you go this hard? He's like, dude, I saw you walked in and I was staying until you left because I wanted you to know that you will not outwork me, basically. I mean, so is that sort of the same thing in a little bit of way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to outwork anybody as much as I'm just trying to work as hard as I can just for myself. Just try to keep it just that way, no matter, kind of like what you said, no matter if somebody else is there, and if somebody else is not there, that's completely fine too. But it's just kind of something I enjoy doing, and that's probably part of just the whole CrossFit realm that was introduced to me at a young age. So that definitely probably plays a part in it.
Yeah. Tyson, just brought up the CrossFit. Who of your teammates would be most likely to join you on one of your crazy workouts? If you're kind of just scoping out the entire team, who would actually be willing and able to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. But as far as like a mindset thing, I probably, I could see, if we didn't have anything going on for a while, maybe an off-season gig. Brett Rippon, man, his mindset's pretty similar to mine. He talks to me about David Goggins all the time. He's yelling and shouting and in the weight room, and he's been great. He's been great for me and everybody in the quarterback room so far. So I'd have to say him. Yeah, probably. Okay. Now, whether might be pretty jacked up afterwards. He, who knows? But I think he'd definitely be up for the task.
Well, I mean, Brett Rippon really put on a show on the Thursday Night Hall of Fame game. You're talking about you guys really starting to get along here in the spirit of competition. Mm-hmm. What's that like with him? And you guys kind of, in a lot of ways, I know the Bears released a depth chart and they put your name or Brett Rippon for the 2 spot. Mm-hmm. So like to me, I took that as like their they did that for a few different spots on the roster. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that meant it's incomplete or they're challenging you guys. So like, what's that like to, have that relationship with him, but you guys are also competing essentially for the same spot?
Yeah, I think, I mean, like I said, he's been great so far. Definitely he's got more experience than everybody else. So it's good to hear kind of the things he's went through and hear him talk through things. He's been very helpful in that area. And then just a funny, awesome dude to hang out with. So it's just been, I haven't had a bad experience with Rippon so far. So it's just been wonderful.
Good room.
I had to tell everybody to chill out. My guy got to throw the ball 3 times. Let's not change the depth order here. But I'll say that for you. I saw we have the song.
Boy.
Are we gonna do this?
Are you prepared for this, Tyson? Like, do you know what's about to happen? Like, have you heard of this song?
I don't think so.
You have not heard of this song, so that makes it worse. So, like last year, this song took the world by storm. I had to record it in this room over here. It took like 3 takes, Tyson. So, like I said, like Carm has had an affinity for your quarterback play for quite some time, and so essentially, like, I sent Lawrence the clip. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but I think it would be a good test to see how long you can make it through this song before you get to call it. Like, when you don't want to see it, you say stop the tape, and we'll stop it. But this is Mark Carman's parody song in honor of you.
There's a man who isn't afraid of danger. To every offense he meets, he's no stranger. With every drop it takes, another pass he completes. The odds are if you're open, he will find you. Woo! The Secret Bagent Man. The Secret Bagent Man. Flus is giving him a chance to be the Bears' backup QB.
I wish we could see his feet.
Beware vet QBs that you find.
Like I said,
A longer resume from Carolina, don't mind.
No haze, PJ.
And be careful what you say. Today's the best new day. The odds are if you're open, he will find you.
Oh my
Woo!
God.
The Secret Bagent Man. The Secret Bagent Man. Flus is giving him a chance to.
Oh my
gosh! Wow, I've heard the seriously.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Yeah, I've heard the Secret Bagent Man. I've heard that, but not that version. It's a new version.
Well, he dubbed it. I don't know how people had brought up that nickname in college or in high school yet, but he dubbed it before anybody here in Chicago.
Yeah,
I want
never heard that.
The record to show.
Nobody had ever called me that ever before.
Yeah, right. It was the first time.
We're reinventing the wheel over here at CHGO.
And then others tried to do Secret Bagent Man not as well as I did it. Then I had to do songs, calling my guy Dave Swirsky out, who I love. Shout out to the Swirst. But you deserved a song, man. You come on in.
The scary part is, Tyson, there's a third verse that we
we're
kept
good.
you from. We're not going to play it, but like it kept going. It was like I'm in there recording this. He's like. And when the first take he did it, he's like, second verse. And then he's like, I'm like, please, we only needed one verse to really just hammer this home.
Went all out.
But he went 3 whole verses.
Oh my God.
We have to realize, and I know it's uncomfortable for some, but at least on this side of it, it's got to be about fun. This is the toy department. We're not trying to cure cancer over here. I know you take super serious what you do, and I take it seriously for on.
Maybe that'll make Hard Knocks. We'll see.
It's right there. It's right there.
Are you excited to see this? Like you guys are living it, but then you're going to get to see it then again on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
are you excited for it?
I am. I think it'll be interesting to see what they keep and just be able to kind of get a glimpse into really what we've been going through and see if they're really. I'm interested to see how they portray it all. So it'll be interesting.
I mean, Tyson, when. I know we've heard like Eberflus and everybody kind of talk. You don't notice the cameras, but they're literally everywhere. Like I feel like they are everywhere, and they're trying to kind of camouflage wearing the Bears gear. But how do you feel like you and your teammates have just been around like all those cameras that are there?
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of taken the initiative to not change anything, to try and make it as authentic as possible, act like they're not there. But
I'd be gassing it up for the camera.
Yeah, I mean, it's really in practice when you notice it, just because they're really out there and they're
the boom mic.
They got the boom mic right in front of you or whatever. But as far as like in the meeting rooms, the cameras are mounted, so you kind of forget about it after a while. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to watch and see what they decide to put on there.
Yeah. All right. This hour flew by. It was awesome having you. I got just a little trivia on the way out here.
You got a couple super chats as well.
Okay, good. First quarterback from a D2 school to start an NFL game since. Do you know the answer to that?
1950 something.
2010.
Damn.
Week 15, John Kitna.
Wow.
Seahawks, Bengals, Lions.
I know John Kitna. Wow. Shout out to John Kitna.
That's I just a little history right there. I got one more for you. This is more about you specifically. Some freshman, first game. Do you remember how many yards you threw for him?
518.
518 is right.
It is.
Right on.
Damn. What a beast.
518
What a
game
beast.
1, dog. That's insane. Do you know what you were as far as attempts and completions?
Yes. 33 for 53.
Off.
Damn.
You took away 3 from you.
36 for 53.
36 of 54.
36.
How many touchdowns?
3.
3 is correct.
Yep.
Puts you right in the record books.
What was
to
the
start.
score of that game?
35 to 33. We dropped the 2-point conversion to tie it up and take it to overtime.
Wow.
He's like never forget.
The doggone shame.
I got a million things that we didn't cover, but this is
somebody in our Discord for the diehards that sign up here at CHGO. Miller, he's asking if you could play any other position, which one would it be and why?
Yeah. Long snapper.
Long snapper.
There you go.
Everything else is too scary. Screw that.
Patrick Scales.
I don't want
watch out.
to say a receiver, but I'm not trying. I don't want to come across the middle, catch anything.
I mean, T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nah.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Nope.
Here's the last one for you from me, at least. A Manning Passing Academy last year before the Senior Bowl, and shout out, by the way, everybody can long journeys. People can, who knows where y'all are going to land at the end here. But at that time, with you, Bryce Young, CJ, Hendon Hooker, Will Rogers from Mississippi State, Will Levis, Kentucky, they were all there. If you were just grading at that point, like who you thought had the best performance there, like I'd bet on that guy, who would you have said?
Oof. I mean, Anthony Richardson was there. So
okay, left him. Yeah.
I mean, dude threw the ball 80 yards in the air and then did a backflip. I'm pretty sure he got 15 feet in the air. So, I mean, yeah.
When you guys practiced against the Colts last year, I was like, look, I don't know if this guy's going to be good or not going to be good, but that dude could lead the league in rushing. It was insane.
Oh, yeah, he's a absolute freak.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Austin here in our Discord. One more shout out to the diehard. Said a fun one for you, Tyson. What's your favorite part of being in Chicago? Coming from small town USA to big city Chicago. What's that been like for you and your favorite part of this city?
Yeah, I visited New York a couple weeks before the draft, and it kind of traumatized me. I didn't really like the city very much. It was cool, but not for very long. It was you want to get out of there, and then so I was kind of nervous coming here, but I love it. I love Chicago. I love all the food that they have to offer. I love the there's always something going on. And I love how much they love the Bears. So, I remember last year we were 4-8 playing at home, and the place was just rocking. So, they just, they love us.
We're ready, man.
Yeah, exactly.
We're ready, dude. That house is gonna be jumping week 1.
I love it.
You guys are. I don't know if you're aware, but the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox are in a little bit of a situation.
The Sox are on a 20-game losing streak right now. So if you guys could please just save us, that's what.
It's the lowest it's been in a long time. So, and you guys have a great opportunity. What do we got on the left here? Can we talk about that at all, or is that private?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
You got the. I'm curious what the
man in the arena speech is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how a strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. So just a little.
Love it.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. I
appreciate it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's compete. Well, good luck.
We got a couple more super chats real quick.
Right.
Real quick.
Sorry. Go ahead.
CHGO.
Just
asked if you had seen the song, and now you have, but he called it, said, Tyson, you freak, we love you. And then he said, I bet the next guy you could crack open a watermelon with those thunder thighs. Ha, ha, ha.
Now he has heard of the song, unfortunately for him. But we got to deal with it, so does he.
Skeeter says Carman's a real-life Michael Scott.
Thank you, Skeeter. You're my guy.
Sounds about right.
Appreciate you.
Oh, man.
Well, that's awesome. Shout out to Tyson again from all of you guys in the chat for giving the love for coming down and spending an hour on an off day.
Dude, means a lot to us.
Yeah. Awesome, appreciate you guys having me. This is awesome.
And August 17th.
Anytime, man. Anytime you want to come out, we'll bullshit about whatever you want.
And let's see here. To find the event, the post-game dinner on August 17th, we're benefiting great causes, AHS and CORE. Where do people go? How do we do this? We'll tweet it. Let's do it like that. I don't know.
Sweet.
That'll work. And $19.99 from our MVP Crystal. Hey Tyson, love to have you here at CHGO. Carmen's your number one fan, which makes you my number one fan as well. Your dad is a great guy. Met him last weekend with Braggs. Have a great season. Bear down. Crystal's she's a real one.
Your dad comes up to me. We've had a few people come up to us at camp like, "Hey, I love your show." And this guy comes up to me. It's like, "Braggs." And I'm like, "What's up, man? What's your name?" You know? And he's like, "I'm Travis Bagent." I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, dude?" And he's, ball of energy. It was so much. We talked to him for like 20 minutes. Like, I know, people talk about your dad all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm sure, obviously you're very proud of him and everything, but he is so much fun. His personality is infectious, man. It's pretty cool to be around.
Nobody like him. Yeah, nobody like him.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to trying to see if I can take him down. Apparently he's dishing out 10 grand to anybody that can, so.
You're already injured enough.
That's
more.
A 17-time champion there, buddy. The beast is. Your parking's about to expire. Thank you, Parking Chicago. Got you, buddy. Hey, Tyson, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tyson Bagent, CHGO Bears back tomorrow from training camp. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.
All city like the mayor.